Well, the world has still gone nutty, buddy, even downright cruddy, buddy. We shall miss the past, buddy, but there's still Buddycast. No, don't be nutty, go meet everybody here on Buddycast.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the founder and host of Buddycast, Nick Sorensen.
Welcome back, buddies, to everyone's favorite show, Buddycast. I'm your host, Nick Sorensen. Thank you for joining us for another episode. Today's episode is going to be a good one because we have birthday boy, big league, John McChesney. How you doing, John?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. First off, happy birthday.
Thank you, man. I'm getting up there. I don't know how much longer I can do this wrestling thing with the age I just became today. But yeah, man, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for having me on my birthday.
Certainly. That's our birthday present to you. A nice interview.
Awesome. And sorry for the rain. If you hear it, we're here in Erie. I'm at my house. I'm a little bit outside just so I can just kind of check things out. But it's been raining all day, so if you can't hear me that well, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
All right.
So, John, I got to start off by asking, how did you get into wrestling?
Oh, man. Well, when I was young, I used to go down to a local VCR place and have to rent a VCR and tapes, back in the late 80s. And the first thing, like a lot of wrestlers, the first thing I watched was WrestleMania 3, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Macho Man versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat that night. That's where I first started. Then, as a kid, I'd watch it for a little bit. But in the late 90s in high school, I started watching ECW late night on TV. And I don't know really what it was about it specifically, but it just looked like something I said, I need to do this and I want to do this. So there's no specific striking point that made me want to do it. I just feel like it was inherently in me forever, if that makes any sense.
Nice. How'd you get the name Big League?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, I went by Fabulous John McChesney for years and years and years until I wrestled on a few shows in Cleveland for a company called AIW, Absolute Intense Wrestling. And I teamed with a guy named Larry Sweeney one night, R.I.P. Larry Sweeney. And we went and talked to the promoters after the show, and we were, any good performer would do, we asked for a little bit more money. And they said, "What are you, big leaguing us?" And I said, "Maybe I am." No, but that's actually where it did come from. But I figured, that sounds good. I'll just change myself to big league. Nice. That's where it originated. And then, just the lifestyle of doing what I do just kind of kept it going. Nice.
Do you remember your first professional fight?
I do. You're from Erie, correct?
Yes.
So do you remember the original Perry Highway Hose Company? And I don't mean where it is now. I meant on Peach Street where Furman's is now.
I know where Furman's is.
Okay, well, that used to be the Perry Highway Hose Company 22 years ago. So my first professional fight was at the Perry Highway Hose Company against a guy named the Great American Jackass. That was his name, the Great American Jackass. He wore duct tape on his left knee. I thought I was cool and pretended to look like Raven from back in the day. Mm-hmm. I walked into the ring, the bell rang, and I lost about 45 seconds later. That was my first professional fight. It was a good time. It was great, but it started me on a path to get to where I'm at now.
Once you started, there was no going back.
Oh yeah, like the Pringles. What is it? The Lay's. Once you pop, you can't stop. I don't know which one that is.
Exactly. How many total fights do you think you've been in throughout your career?
Well, it's been up and down by the years. I've done as many in 1 year as 175 in a 365-day radius. But I remember it's my birthday today, and I didn't reveal my age. Let's say I've been wrestling for 22 years. But in the middle of my career, when I really was wrestling a lot, I would do 140 to 170 matches a year. So I would say total, I'm probably right around. I never keep track of them one by one like a lot of people do, but I'm probably in the 1,000 to 1,100 range.
Wow.
Of actual professional wrestling matches. Some of those matches have been 15 seconds long. some of them have been an hour long and everywhere in between. So
Wow.
I'm a little weathered when it comes to matches.
Mm-hmm. Now you have a special buddy that has impacted your career. Your buddy Jordy.
Oh, absolutely. My buddy Jordy. Have you ever met Jordy?
I have not.
Jordy, you need to. We're gonna make that happen someday, Nick. But no,
Sounds
Jordy,
good.
Jordy Nolan. I call him the president of Team Big League because Team Big League is a conglomeration of wrestlers that I try to take under my wing, and then all my fans. We're all considered Team Big League, and Jordy, my buddy, is the president of that. I met Jordy 10 years ago. He was 15 years old. He has brittle bone disease. I cannot pronounce the actual medical term of it. I don't want to flub it, but he has brittle bone disease. And the first thing he said to me when somebody set up a meeting was that he wanted to be a professional wrestler. And obviously with his condition, that's not really going to work out. But I told him and I promised him back 10 years ago that I would do anything and everything I can to make him a part of what we do. And in the last 10 years, once he turned 18, we've had him be my personal ring announcer, my manager. He does commentary, and he does amazing to the point where he actually leaves tomorrow morning to work for Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is literally the top superstar in all of professional wrestling right now. He just challenged Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal title at WrestleMania 3 months ago, and he owns a training facility called the Nightmare Factory, and he personally has had Jordy, my buddy, go down to do commentary down there. So Jordy's an inspiration to me to go through what he's gone through and still do what he does now. It's just amazing. And like I said, we'll get him to meet you one day. We'll do
Absolutely. Hey, if Jordy wants to be on the show, he is more than welcome.
Oh, you need 2 hours for that one. He'll talk your ear off.
Oh, hey, we like it when people do that. We like it when people do that.
Absolutely.
So who are some noteworthy opponents that you've battled throughout your career?
Oh, tons of them. So in my early career, believe it or not, I wrestled Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles, Matt Hardy, Jake the Snake Roberts, the legend. I got choked out by Sergeant Slaughter of all people. And now these guys are really old now, but I've done a kind of a who's who. You name it, I've been in the ring with them. Just last night, literally yesterday, the day before my birthday, I wrestled EC3, Ethan Carter III, who's been in the WWE. He's a part of NXT. He's been a multiple-time TNA World Heavyweight Champion, and he's the current NWA North American Champion, which is a company run by Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins. And, you know, I've had tons of great opponents. You know, you say big-time opponents, big names, but there's one person I have to shout out just because he's been a thorn in my side, and one of my best friends at the same time is big-time Bill Collier. Now, big-time Bill Collier doesn't have the legendary status in terms of mainstream, but big-time Bill Collier should have the legendary status of being in mainstream. So when you say, have I wrestled tons of big names and big guys? Yes, but I'd rather keep it local to the people that I came up with. And I would say big-time Bill Collier is the number one on that list.
Nice. Random question. Do you know a wrestler by the name of The Rev?
The Reverend Ron Hunt? Is that what you're talking about? I sure do. Now I have to ask you a question. Why are you asking me about Reverend Ron Hunt?
Because I went to college with him, and I had him on the show as well.
Have you? All right.
He's a buddy of mine.
To him? Yeah. Do you speak to him once in a while still?
Every now and then, yeah.
Okay. Well, I know he's what you call the RWA champion down in Pittsburgh area. And, man, I don't know. I've been looking at Ron Hunt, and let's just say I'm looking at you, Ron Hunt. Let's just say that.
Ooh, we got a challenge.
Hey, we've already actually wrestled each other once.
Ooh, do we have a rematch challenge?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's gonna have to challenge me. I kind of beat him the first time.
Oh,
that doesn't mean it's over, though, man. I was the champion of 2PW Prospect Pro Wrestling. He came to challenge me, and he just couldn't get the job done. But I hear he's the champion of RWA, and I like collecting titles. So you never know. You never know.
Woo-hoo. We got some challenging going on. We got the heat cooking, baby.
Yeah, that's right.
So you mentioned a lot of noteworthy people, some people that you look up to. Who are some of your mentors? Who are some of your role models when it comes to wrestling?
Well, when I was young, you know, I like people always say, who's your favorite wrestler? My fun self always says myself, but then
Mhm.
I always say all of them, man. There's something good and a good quality about every pro wrestler out there that you can take into effect. But if I had to go like a top 3 role models when it comes to watching, Bret Hart, Ric Flair, and I loved Edge in the early 2000s when I was starting. He was on the top of his game. He's always been on the top of his game, but those 3, when it comes to that, those are guys I really look up to. I've met all 3 of them. I've had good conversations with all 3 of them, and they kind of motivated me to do what I do.
Nice. Now, what do you have any upcoming matches you want to promote that you could tell us about?
Yeah. I actually July 8th, in a couple weeks, I wrestle Derek Dillinger for IWC Wrestling, the International Wrestling Cartel. Again, based out of Pittsburgh, IWCWrestling.com. They have a big show. It's called Threat Level to Midnight is the name of the show that night. Derek Dillinger and I are not seeing eye to eye these days, so that's who I'm fighting that night. Then, you know what? The next one I really want to talk about is Friday night, July 21st. Myself and my partner, Aaron Draven, and a guy named Mike Roberts, we run Revenge Pro Wrestling that's based right here in Erie, Pennsylvania. And that is our next show, Friday night, July 21st at the Erie Sports Center right off I-90 on Oliver Road at 8 p.m. That is something I'm very proud of. Revenge Pro Wrestling is something we started 5 years ago. We were downtown at the Avalon for years, and a month ago we had our first event up at the Erie Sports Center. We had over 750 people there.
Wow.
When I say that, I love my hometown of Erie to death because when I started wrestling 22 years ago, I'd wrestle in Erie in front of 20 people. And we've built it and built it and built it and built it to what we have now, Revenge Pro Wrestling. So I'm inviting you personally and anybody that's listening to this, check out Revenge Pro Wrestling on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. And you can buy tickets right now for Friday night, July 21st.
Sweetness. That's Friday night, July 21st.
Absolutely.
So the Erie community really has given you what you have today, you would say.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, I was born and raised here. I played baseball down at Prep in high school. Baseball didn't pan out for me after that, so I started being a pro wrestler. And 20-some years ago, pro wrestling sometimes was looked at as a joke by a lot of people. But I feel like myself and a few of my guys here in Erie have done a really good job of building the reputation up for entertainment in Erie. And it's built to where we're at. And I love my hometown. No matter what anybody says about it, Erie's the best.
Absolutely.
And, I can't thank Erie people enough for showing up to every event that we run.
Mm-hmm. Number 1, Roll Ramblers.
That's right.
Yeah.
Roll Ramblers, keep rolling. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So outside of wrestling, what do you like to do? What are your hobbies? What's your career?
Yeah, man. No, I just do my thing. I mean, a lot of my life is pro wrestling. I have a full-time job that I keep to myself. I have a part-time job as well, then another full-time job with pro wrestling.
Nice.
I like to watch movies. I actually, as it's my birthday today, I figured I treated myself to go watch The Flash. So I just got out of The Flash about an hour ago. Seeing Michael Keaton on the screen again was awesome. I'm a big Star Wars fan. I occasionally play the video game here too, but a lot of my time, honestly, is just is put towards my everyday life of a job and putting Revenge on the map.
Yep. Now, buddy, don't go anywhere. I got to play a quick ad from our sponsors.
All right, buddy.
Hi, Buddycast. Today's Buddycast has been brought to you by Glass Growers Gallery, where they showcase functional artisan handcrafts of jewelry, pottery, glass, wood, metal, socks, and more. They also deliver within a 12-mile radius. They're located in the heart of downtown Erie by a bunch of our other business buddies. You can find them at 10 East 5th Street. You can also find our buddy Emily, who did a Buddycast to explain the business more. She did a fantastic job. Please check out that episode. You want to learn more about them? Call today at 814-453-3758 or visit their website at glassgrowersgallery.com. Tell my buddy Emily that Buddy sent you and Buddy says hello. Now go be someone's buddy. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Buddycast. And that was a word from our sponsors at Glass Growers Gallery.
Who? Where? Glass Blowers Gallery?
Yep.
All right.
Right downtown in the heart of Erie.
That's hey. Best place to be, the heart of Erie, downtown.
Mm-hmm. So, buddy, I've got 2 more questions for you to make this an official Buddycast.
Absolutely.
The first one is brought to us by my buddy Jonas Kane at #positivity. He wants to know, in your own words, what does it mean to be someone's buddy?
What does it mean to be somebody's buddy? You know, I try not to overthink this when you asked me that the other day when you asked me to do this. What I think it means to be somebody's buddy is somebody that looks out for each other. I'm very big on I treat you how you treat me. And, you know, that's a big one in my life. And I think to be somebody's buddy is to look out for each other, to take care of each other, to have each other's best interests, no matter how crazy it might be. You know, always support somebody with what they have, with what idea they have. You know, even if you think it's crazy, give them some criticism about it, but support them ultimately. And, you know, I feel like I said, if you treat somebody the way you'd like to be treated, it will only be good in the long run.
The golden rule, 100%.
Yep, absolutely.
The final question I have for you today on your birthday is what we call the ultimate Buddycast buddy question. You ready for this one?
You're going to stump me. All right.
For anyone out there who wants to be a pro wrestler, what is your advice to them?
If you start, don't stop. Because once you start, if it's in here, your heart, then you can't stop. Yep. I've been doing this 22 years. There's a lot of training schools in the tri-state area. Now, stay tuned. You never know when Big League might open one. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of training schools in the area, but a lot of people will go in there. You'll get worked very hard. You know, they'll make you do hundreds of squats, hundreds of push-ups, hundreds of blow-up drills, we call them, just before you're allowed in the ring the first time. And my true statement is, if you really want to do this, don't ever give up, no matter how hard it is. I cannot tell you, in the 22 years I've been doing this, I've never made it huge. I have made it to WWE, I have made it to TNA, but I've never made it on a full-time basis. But one thing I've never done is give up, ever. Even if it's just on a local basis, I'm still doing my thing because I truly, truly love professional wrestling. So that's my thing. If you're going to start it, don't stop it. Don't take this as a joke. Because as much as people might say it's one thing, it's real life to me and a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Never give up. Never stop. Even when you're against the ropes, even when you are pinned to the ground, never give up.
That's right. It's like John Cena says, right? Of all people.
Mm-hmm. Well, buddy, thank you so much for being a buddy on Buddycast.
No problem.
You know, you're welcome back anytime.
Yes, I had a great time. If anybody wants to follow me, it's Big League JMCC on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook is John McChesney. Revenge Pro Wrestling once again. You are invited to the next show, by the way. All right. So I hope you're available on Friday night, July 21st.
I think I might be. I'll double check.
You better be, buddy. All right? Or else I'll get you in the ring somehow.
Sounds good. Right. Stick around for just a minute afterwards.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks.
For my buddies out there, this is my buddy, Big League, John McChesney. Please wish him a happy birthday. Check out his matches whenever he's in your area. You won't regret it. I'm your host, Nick Sorensen. Thank you for joining us on everybody's favorite show, Buddycast.
Buddycast.
Well, the days are going fast. Buddy, we've got to make them last. Buddy, before they've all gone past. Buddy, tune in to Buddycast. No, don't feel like it can make it, buddy, here on Buddycast.